Person brings a get from overseas and he says, "Fani nechtam," he should not marry the woman who he gave the get to. Why? Because people will say that, we have to, maybe he really didn't see the get written, so on and so forth. He only did it because he wants to free the woman to marry her. In Eid Echad, a single witness says the husband died. So it says he should not marry the woman. If he marries her, it's okay. A man where there are murmurings that he committed adultery with her, he should not marry her. There, if he marries her, we're speaking about without, it hasn't been confirmed he's an adulterer. So it says there that if he was married, if she married someone subsequently in between, and then the murmuring stopped, then if he marries her, he's permitted to remain with her. He had all these different cases. What about a chacham? Woman has a neder, and because of the neder, she can't remain with her husband, and the chacham says you can't stay with your wife. So it says when her husband divorced, the chacham should not marry the woman, because people say, why he forbade her? Because he wanted her that she should be availed to him. So you have all these various scenarios, right, that because people will say it's because he had a personal interest in the woman, therefore he should not marry the woman. So now in all the cases we had before, let's say, not a conflict. No, it's the murmurings of people, what people will say. People will say things which are baseless, but people talk. People see other people and, right away they suspect. The man, they say, it doesn't make, why did he all of a sudden did he marry her? It must be, people right away they start thinking this way. What about if the women, if the chacham or the man delivered, they had their own wives? They had their own wives. They were happily married. Subsequently, his wife dies, and after his wife dies, he marries the woman. Is that a different situation? So the Mishnah says that's a different situation. Person's married, his wife dies, then there's nothing wrong with marrying every one of these cases. Because people can't say, before he was married, he didn't marry immediately. It's only because now he became widowed. That's the reason why he married the woman. So that's this Mishnah. V'kulam shoyu lehem noshim. All these various people who had their own wives. Umesu. And then subsequently their wives die. Their own wives die. Mutoris linosi lohem. They're permitted to marry all these situations where we're concerned about people speaking, saying things which are baseless. Why? Because they said, wanted he marry immediately? Evidently, it's clear he didn't have an interest in her. The reason why he's married is because he's a widow. A widower, that's why he's marrying her. What about these women? They married somebody in the interim, okay? And then subsequently, and then subsequently they became divorced from those people, or they became widowed from those people. Mutarasli noslim, for the same reason. Because the man didn't marry her right away. She married someone else. Now she's widowed or divorced somebody else. V'kulam mutoras livneim olachem. Hear this? What about the chacham goes and he says, you're not permitted to remain with your husband. He divorces her. Now he has a brother. Is his brother permitted to marry her? We said not a problem. But people will say, why his brother didn't allow? Because he wanted his brother to have. People don't think that way. What about his son wants to marry the woman? Well, not a problem. It's only the person himself who brought about the divorce or whatever it may be. Only people will speak about. Okay? So what does it seem to be? It says if the wives died, if they were married, the chacham was married, the one who lived, the get was married, all these people, they married, subsequently they became widowed, he's permitted to marry. But what about if he would divorce his wife? The inference is, it says only mesu. The wives died. What about if he would divorce his wife? A year later he divorces his wife, it seems to be. He's not permitted to marry. Right? Because people say, why divorce? He divorced his wife to be able to marry this woman. Mesu wein nisgar shelo. It seems the inference of the Mishnah is only if they became widowed. Right? But if they would divorce their wife, then they're not permitted. Omali Rafilo Ravashi. So Rafilo says to Ravashi, listen to Votanya, Afil Nizgarshu. We learned the Bryce differently. The inference of the Mishnah is only Imesu, right? But we learned in the Bryce that even Nizgarshu, that even if they divorce their wives, they're permitted to marry the woman, right? So Mar says, Hod havi katoto, hod lo havi katoto. Hear this? There's a difference. If, let's say, there was nothing going on between them. There was no fighting between them. Man divorced his wife. Why did he divorce his wife? Evidently, he's interested in her. But let's say there were problems between the husband and wife. So people are not going to say the reason why he divorced her was to marry this woman. So that it says in the Brisa that when they divorce the wife, he's permitted. That's where there's no problem between the two of them. But if where there is a problem, that's where he's permitted. But if there is no problem, so what are people going to say? He divorced her to be able to marry, okay? In both cases, there's no problem between the two of them. Look, Hoda argued, who? Hoda argued he. Hear this? The question, who started the problem? Let's say after this happens, the Chacham goes, and he starts finding fault with his wife. And he's the one who's putting salt on the wounds. So what do people say? You know something? The reason why he's expediting this deal is because he wants this woman. Let's say he's an innocent victim. He's the victim. His wife is giving him the business. His wife is the one who precipitated the divorce. So people are not going to say the reason why he divorced her is because he wanted to marry this woman. So it really depends who started the fight, so to say. As they always say, it takes two to fight. Not always, not in a marriage. It doesn't take two to fight. Then it says, V'kula shenisu, it says in Mishnah, if all these women, they married a third party, after the Chacham ruled, or after he lived, she married someone else, and subsequently she was divorced from that third party, or she was widowed, then she's permitted to marry the original person, because people can't say that he forbade her that he should marry, because she married someone else. Koso gedaitoch, misa gershin gershin. So the original consideration is, one second, it says, Kul shnis lacheru meisu koinami areshtu meis haraktiv lo jisis ishto. It seems to be, we have a problem. It says in the first Mishnah that it says that if he testified that the husband died, he's not permitted to what? To marry the wife. He says, I killed him, or I was present when he was killed, he can't marry her. So it's Kosal died, Misa, Gershin, Gershin. So what's the case? Now, there's an interesting case. There's a case which is called Katlonis. A woman is a killer wife. What's a killer wife? A woman's married to one man, and the man dies. She marries another man, also dies. So what is she? She's a kiss of death, this woman. Robert, you listen like this. She's a kiss of death. Okay? She's called a killer wife. So if you hold that chazokah, there's a machlokes, Rebbe and the Chachamim, how many times does something have to repeat itself to be established as a pattern? Rebbe says twice is enough. So if two of her husbands died, we say, you know something? This woman is bad luck. You're not permitted to marry. It's like you'd say a person, I'm going to take poison. Do you allow a person to take poison? You know, he's not allowed to take poison. Marrying this woman, it's like ending your life. So it seems to be in the Mishnah. It says in the first, if he testified that her husband died, right? And then afterwards she marries a third party, the Mishnah says here that if she's widowed, he could marry her. But if she's widowed, married, but how many husbands died? Two already. How could he marry her after twice? She's already classified as a killer wife. So how does the Mishnah say that if first he testified she died, and then afterwards she marries and she was widowed again? Now the one who testified she died, he could marry her, but she already buried two husbands. He's the third one to go to the grave, right? So evidently, what's the Mishnah? Seemingly, the Mishnah is not going like Rebbe. The Chachamim rule, you have to have only 3 times. Only then is it established as a pattern. So it seems to be the Mishnah is not going like Rebbe. La halacha, we rule, since it's a question of life and death, we rule the Chumrah like Rebbe. Normally, we say 3 times as a chazaka. But since here it's a question of life and death, we don't take chances. Twice is enough. We classify as a katlonis. A person should not marry the woman. We're not speaking about a woman marries a man, and he lives till 103 and he dies. Then she marries another man, he lives till 109 and dies. You know, the man eventually has to die. We're speaking a man was in good health, and all of a sudden something happens and he dies. I mean, it's clear the woman is bad news, right? Halachically, it's not permitted. I mean, if he marries her, they're not going to force him to divorce. If he marries her, but Chacham say the man should not marry this woman, should not marry her. Okay, so but it seems to be misa. It says gershin gershin. Same thing. First case is the one who actually delivered the get. It says he should not marry her, but it says if she marries a third party and she's divorced, he's permitted. Here it's not a question, but you got to have your head examined. There's already a pattern established. This woman, the marriage is not going to last. What are you getting involved there? right? And yet it says there's no problem, marry her. So clearly, seemingly, it's encouraged, he could marry her. Evidently, we see clearly twice is not a chazokah. Of course, if twice would be a chazokah, they would discourage him. They say, you know something, there's an expression in Yiddish, you don't go with a healthy head into a sick bed. You know, you're a healthy person. You're going to get involved in a relationship which is going to be disastrous. You don't get involved in that. She's already showed her true colors. Every man who marries her ends up with a divorce. What are you going there for? But it says in the Mishnah, we don't discourage it. So evidently we see clearly twice is not a pattern. So we clearly the Mishnah seems to go like the Chachamim and not like Rebbe. Okay, we'll see. So it seems to Nema must look Rebbe. So according to this understanding, the Mishnah is not following Rebbe's position. On the Martika Rebbe, Homa betray Zimni Havi Chazoka. Rebbe says after twice it's already the pattern is established. Mer says no. Misa Gershin, the Gershna Misa. You know, we're going to learn like this. The first case says a man who delivers a get, he's not permitted to marry. If subsequently she marries and then she's widowed, so how many times was she widowed? Once. Right. Then he's allowed to marry. What happens initially? He testifies she died. Her husband died. Subsequently she marries a third. Then she's divorced. So it comes out how many husbands did she bury? Just one husband. Therefore, now the man who testified that her husband died, he's permitted to marry her. Because according to everyone, she hasn't established a pattern because it only happened once. The divorce happened once, and the death of the husband happened once. This reminds me, Alan once told me he had a patient who had really a cardiac problem. He wanted to go on vacation, and he was going to take a cruise to some island where there was no hospital, no medical, adequate medical treatment. So he tells Alan, says, what happens if something happens? You're out there. You're going to be away. Patient says to Alan, I'll take responsibility. That's what he said. I'll take responsibility. Alan says, do you want to live or you want to die? What do you take responsibility? Person says, I'm going to marry. She's a killer wife. I'll take responsibility. Okay, you want to die? Go there. You know what I mean? I don't know if you have those kinds of patients. Okay. No, he has to die as her husband. What happens if he marries a woman and they're divorced and he has a heart attack? A day later, we don't attribute it to the marriage. She's not a katlanis. Not at all. Okay? It says in the Mishnah, V'kulam v'toris lebneim olacheim. The Chacham, let's say now after the Chacham rules that she can't be with her husband and her husband divorces her, now his son marries the woman. Is there a problem? No. What about his brother? Also not. Somewhere else. It says, Hanitin min isha. A man was suspect that he committed adultery with the woman. So we said earlier, he should not marry. Even if he marries her, we force him to divorce her. Okay? So it says that person should not marry her mother, right? And should not marry the sister. Either one, right? Nid min isha also bi'ima and her daughter ubachosa. Her daughter and her sister. So you see clearly, even though the suspect, what we suspect is between the two of them, on a Torah level, he's permitted to marry. But you're not permitted. Why? Because people will say, that what are people going to say? They can say, like, why he's marrying the daughter? Because the mother's going to visit. Mother's going to visit, they're going to have an illicit affair. Because, there's a history on this relationship. So we say, we don't want people talking, that people say, why he's marrying her? Because. So let's say the same thing here. You know why he ruled that she's not permitted to us? Because he wanted that she should be available to him. Here. We'll see in a minute. The Gemara is going to differentiate. A woman sometimes is willing to share her relationship with another woman, if it's a mother or if it's a son. A man doesn't share his wife with anybody. Yeah, regardless of what happened earlier. That we rule, like we spoke, a man rapes a woman, okay, or has a relationship with a woman, doesn't marry her. And now they end the relationship. Now the son wants to marry that woman. So we had earlier, it's machlokes tanoim, whether the son's allowed to marry that, right? Because his father was never married to her. They just had a relationship, right? So over there, do we say, since they had a previous relationship, the son shouldn't marry because now that they're in the family, every once in a while he's going to drop in on her. We don't say such a thing. So that's the Gemara is going to differentiate between a woman and a woman, women and men. Gemara says, So the Gemara says, "Nishei legabi nishei shchichon." Women visit women. The Oslon, right? They go, they visit one another. They drop in one. You never know. She drops in. The husband's there. The one who suspect being an adulterer, she drops in. You never know what could go on. Gavri legabi gavri lo shchichon. Men don't drop in on men, right? That's one. Inami noshi lo osrin shchifton adodi. Women who are not forbidden, they'll lokapti adodi. See, Rashi says. One second. How did he explain that?
The price appears that a man married to the relative of his
No. What's the inami? Also, another differentiation. Women who are not permitted, forbidden.
to cohabit with other
Shchiften adodi. They allow one to sleep with the other.
do not render the husband prohibited.
Lokapti adodi. Gavri, the oshin shchifton adodi.
Not concerned.
No, the osrin shchifton, the ones who are not permitted to one another, kapti adodi. So let's say a man marries a daughter. That means the wife, the mother of the daughter, is not permitted. There's no way he's going to, what's his name? We're not concerned he's going to have relations. Ihochi oviv nami lomi. If that's what does it only say that the son and the brother are permitted to marry the woman? What about his father? The Mishnah doesn't say father. It says the brother and the son are permitted to marry the woman. What about the father? Oviv nami. Even though it doesn't mention the father, it includes the father. Why? Lomi boy, come on. The father's understood. Lomi boy, Aviv, the buzz is b'nei gabei. There's no way that the son is going to ever consider having relations with the father's wife. Let's say the father marries this woman, right? So what? We say people are going to say that the son now that it's the father's wife, he'll have relations with her. No way, impossible. He's afraid of, he has respect for his father. But maybe what about his son? Maybe the father will take advantage of the son because the father is not afraid of the son. So now that it's his daughter-in-law, maybe he'll have relations with her. Kamashim, the Mishnah tells us no, there's no way. Men, a forbidden relationship with man doesn't go near. But over here, the woman, he's married to the daughter, he may have relations with the mother, right? Hadron loch ketzad eshes ochiv hadron lon. Hadron loch ketzad eshes och hadron lon. Hadron loch eshes ochiv hadron lon. Okay, let's start the new parak. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. Arbo achin. Take this slow now. Okay, we're getting back to the cases. Arbo achin shnai mein nesum shtei achis. You have 4 brothers, 2 married, 2 sisters. You got it? Umeisu hanesuim es achios. The 2 brothers married to the 2 sisters die. Okay. When did they die? They died, meaning they died one after another. Now you have 2 sisters waiting for Yibum from the 2 surviving brothers. Okay? So do we allow each one to do Yibum? No. We don't know. It says, Hare'elu cholzos lo misyamos. The 2 of them, they receive chalitza and not Yibum. Neither of the brothers could do Yibum, either one. The Gemara is going to discuss this. Vim kodmu v'konsu. If either the brothers did Yibum, Yotziu, we force them to divorce. We don't allow them to be together. Rebbe Lezer Omer, Rebbe Lezer says, Beishame Omrim Yikayim. No, if they marry, we let them to stay together. Beisila Omrim Yotziu. Beisila says no, meaning the Tanakama. We say that's the position of Beisila. Hois achs min asura alo echod iser erva. Let's say a man has 2 daughters. Okay? You got it? Levi has 2 daughters. Now, one daughter marries his brother Ruvain, and the other daughter marries his brother Shimon. Okay? And now, the 2 brothers die. So who falls to Yibum? Right? Who falls to Yibum? The 2 sisters. Right? But let's say one daughter married Ruvain, and another one married Shimon. So then the one is not available to him, right? Because one is what? No, let's structure the case differently. Ruvain, Levi has 2 daughters. Has 2 daughters. And his 2 daughters marry the 2 brothers. Because they're married to 2 sisters. You got it? But the two sisters, no. Two brothers marry two sisters. One of the brothers, in addition, marries his daughter. Marries Levi's daughter. So, as another wife. So Levi's wife, who's the sister of the other brother, is what? Is a Tzoras Erva. Right? Because she is the co-wife of his daughter. So now both brothers die. One of the brothers who die, his wife doesn't fall to Yibum to one of the brothers, right? Because that brother, Levi, is married to... Levi's daughter was the co-wife of Reuven's wife. Right? So that means Reuven's wife has no relevance to Levi. Right? So there's no reason why he can't do Yibum. He could do Yibum on Shimon's wife. Even though they're sisters. No, he does nothing on the other. He does nothing. She goes free. No, she'll need from the other brother. She'll need chalitza. You following? You want to get me a piece of paper from in there? Make it very simple. With the picture, make it easier. We don't need pictures there. When you write it yourself, it makes it more clear. Okay. Where is he? Yeah, Ephraim, you want to go help him find a piece of paper? It's like you need 6 people. Oh, here it is. No, I don't know if it's common or not common. It's irrelevant. This is not the right paper. Give me. This is the stickers. It's okay. I don't need your pen. I have my pen. Okay, there's it. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. Ephraim's the expert in paper. He does all the printouts on Friday. All the Divrei Torah. Okay. Just one paper, pieces. Okay, here. You have A brother, B brother, C brother, D brother. Okay? 4 brothers. Now, A is married to Rachel. B is married to Leah. These are the 2 sisters, right? Now, A and B die, right? So what happens? So both sisters fall to C and D. So the Mishnah says neither brother could do Yibum, because since they're both associated with both of them, right? So therefore they give Chalitza, no Yibum. Because because they're both, before anybody does anything, they're both connected to both of them. Both sisters, because these 2 are brothers of A and B, so both sisters fall to C and both sisters fall to D. So
connected to both of them.
No, not this. That's not a problem. Both women are connected to each of them. So it's like 2 sisters. Therefore, he can't engage with them because if let's say he does Yibum on Rachel, when he does Yibum on Rachel, Leah is connected to C. You got it?
So if he does Yibum here, what's the problem with these 2?
No, because before anybody does anything, whichever one does anything, he's connected to both of them. Both of them are connected to both. So there's a concept known as Achas, the sister of the one who's bound to you. So it's rabbinic. Rabbinically, they can't do Yibum. Each one gets Chalitza. Let's say Rachel is married to whatever, to Sarah. Right? She has a co-wife, Sarah. Sarah is the daughter of C. Okay? So Rachel, A is married to the sister of his brother, but he has a co-wife, Sarah, who's the daughter of C. So when A dies, neither wife are connected to C. Correct? Because Rachel, the sister, is the co-wife of what? Of his daughter. Of C's daughter. That's called Tzoras Erva. So when B dies, Leah, C could do Yibum on Leah. Because there's no association between C and A's wives. Right? Because C's wives, one's a daughter and one is the co-wife. And the co-wife, which is the sister of the other one, doesn't fall to C. Right? Because that's Tzoras Erva.
Well, she can't fall because of this relationship.
Because they're co-wife with his daughter. So therefore, C could do Yibum to Leah. B cannot do Yibum to Rachel, because for B, both sisters were connected to D. Excuse me, D.
Right.
B dies. D is connected to both wives, because Sarah is not D's daughter, right? So both sisters are connected to D. When both sisters are connected to one person, you have to give chalitza. To C, both sisters are not connected to C, correct? Because A's wife, widow, is the co-wife of C's daughter. So there's only one wife connected to C. So that there's no reason why it shouldn't be Yibum.
Two wives.
What?
With two wives.
What do you mean two wives? Let's say there's no co-wife, which is related.
One wife goes
So
to
that means they both give chalitza. So they both give chalitza. That's the Mishnah. Okay? Simple. Okay? After the picture's not so complicated. Let's get back to this. So it's very good now. Beis Shammai says Yikayim, because Beis Shammai holds that what? We'll see. Beis Hillel says Yossi. Hoyza achsmen asura al echod iser ervo. If one of the sisters' co-wife was forbidden because it was nerva, we gave the sister also bo to umuta bachosa. To her, he can't do yibum because it's what saras erva. But the sister, right? It says he can't. Vasheni, but the second brother, where he has both sisters available to him, also b'shtein, right? He can't do yibum to either. So what does he do? He gives chalitza. What about Issa Mitzvah Issa Kedusha? We had this before. What about, there was a question what it meant. Either it's a shnios, it's a rabbinic erva, or it's only a lav, like a mamzer. Let's say she's a mamzeris. Right? So we said her a mamzeris, you give chalitza to. Yibum not, but chalitza yes. What about it's like, it's a rabbinic erva. It's a grandmother, right? Which we listed all the different rabbinic, right? 15. So the halach is, Misyabemis lo, choletz lo misyabemis, right? That we had earlier. You do chalitza, not yibum. Hoyso achas mehen asura al zeh iser ervo. In new case. What about one of the brothers was married to a sister, and let's say, and to his daughter, and to C's daughter. Vashne asura al zeh iser ervo, right? Hoyso achas mehen asura al zeh iser ervo. Vashne asura al zeh iser ervo. I mean, let's say C and D, each one had a daughter married to one of the brothers. So now, how many sisters fall to each one? Only one. Only one sister falls to each one, because each sister is a co-wife of an erva, which is not permitted, like this case here. C, who falls to C? A's widows don't fall to C, because she's a co-wife of his daughter.
Right.
Let's say D had his daughter, Rivka. Rivka is D's daughter. And now B dies. So Leah cannot fall to D, because she's the co-wife of Rivka, who's the daughter. So therefore, D does Yibum on A, and C does Yibum on B.
Okay.
Right? Because two sisters are not connected. He only has one woman's connected to him. So each one can do Yibum. Right? Okay, so let's read inside. One of the wives was forbidden to one of the brothers, the surviving brothers, erva. The one that's not permitted to one is permitted to the other, even to do yibum. And the one's not permitted to one, muteres lezeh, right? So C does yibum on B's wife, and D does yibum on A's wife. V'zui she'amru. And that's the case we have. Although the two brothers were married to two sisters, right? Although both brothers were married to two sisters, each brother is able to do yibum on one of the sisters. Which sister? The one who's not the co-wife of his daughter. I mean, I give you other cases where it's not only daughters, the most simple case. Let's say one brother, his sister through his mother. He has a sister, he's only related through a mother. But with the brothers, it's not his sister. So, right? They're not related. So you can have a case where a brother is married to the sister of a brother, where they're only related through the mother. Right? So you have two sisters married, let's say, to two brothers. And each one is a sister of these two. Because these two are related through mothers, these two are not related to these women whatsoever. So these two brothers can marry those two sisters. Right? But when they both die, neither fall to C or D because it's their half-sisters through the mother. Nothing. Zero. It's erva. They're sisters. So you could have a similar case. They had two sisters. They were married to two sisters which are not erva, and they're married to two sisters that are erva to C and D. Okay, so what happens? Same thing. So let's say A was married to C's half-sister through his mother, not related to D. And B is married to what? To C's half-sister through his mother, which is not related to C. So you just crisscross it. So D could marry A, and C could marry B. Does even on B. Very simple. So this is the case. Achos kshivimto o chaletzes o misyabemes. You could do chalitza. It's his prerogative. You want to give chalitza, give yibum, do whatever you want. But the Mishnah says, but if you have a case, two brothers married to two sisters, and they both died, says the Mishnah starts, and so they both fall to both brothers. So what does it say in the Mishnah? Choletzes v'lo misyabemes. Chalitz, not yibum. The question is why? Factually, he's not married to them. No, so the Gemara says Shmami. No, so we're able to derive from the Mishnah. Yesh zika. We discussed this in the first parak. Evidently, the connection between the widows and the surviving brothers is strong enough. We see it like this. He's semi-married him. So if he's semi-married to one of the sisters, he can't marry the other sister. So what does he do? He marries neither. So what does he do? He gives chalitza. Okay? The ain't zika. Because if you hold, the bond is not that strong. Michti hani mitrei boti kasyan. Each of these sisters, they're falling from a different brother. One sister's falling from Ruvain, one sister's falling from Shimon. Each brother should do yibum on each widow, although the sisters. See, evidence, so why can't they? The answer is because the bond is like a semi-marriage. So if you're semi-married to one sister, you can't marry the other sister. So therefore you can't marry neither. So what do? You give chalitza. Mor says no proof. Lola meimaloch ein zika. I'll tell you ein zika. The bond is not that strong. So what's the reason why you can't do yibum? Listen to the story. Because what happens? Factually, both women are connected. Each one has the opportunity to do yibum on each one. Correct? On a Torah level. What happens? Right now, both of them need yibum, and each brother could do yibum or chalitza to either one. Let's say one brother chooses to marry one, do yibum. Subsequently, the surviving brother, the co-brother, dies. What happens if he dies? So it was a woman who could have had, who was bound to a degree, and now, so the mitzvah was in effect. Now, when the brother dies, he never married her. So it comes that there was a mitzvah, the mitzvah was never addressed. So now, what happens if, okay, again, the bond is not that strong. A dies, really, C and D both do yibum. What are we concerned? Let's say C does yibum. Okay? So that means C is, one of the sisters becomes C's wife. Right. What happens is now, D, before he has a chance to do yibum, he dies. Okay. So what happens to his wife? His wife goes free. Because what, he already did yibum on the sister. Right? But what happens if C gives chalitza? C gives chalitza to A's wife. Right. And now subsequently D dies. And he never did chalitza or yibum. C will give chalitza to B's wife. Right. So as a result of that, the mitzvah that originally was in effect is going to be addressed. We're concerned if C does yibum and D dies before he does chalitza or yibum, so the mitzvah that was there is not going to be addressed.
Right. The brother that will address it.
So but if he gives chalitza, he could address it. But if he marries her, he does yibum, he can't address it. So because we're concerned that the fourth brother may die before he does chalitza or yibum, and so there's a mitzvah in effect, and the mitzvah is not going to be addressed, and it can't be addressed once he marries her. You follow me?
Okay.
No, Norman, you got it? Okay.
How much of it's on Torah level and how much is on rabbinical?
This is all rabbinical. No, it's because there's a chance. Let's say the two brothers are married to two sisters. They die. Both sisters fall. So now, there's a mitzvah for each of the brothers to address both of the women. Okay? So you have a mitzvah in effect. What happens if the mitzvah is in effect and one of the brothers does something which causes that one of the mitzvahs cannot be addressed? Then he's doing the wrong thing. The surviving brother is doing the wrong thing. Right? When Reuven and Shimon die, A and B die, both of the women, the Torah says, they both need chalitza or yibum. That's what the Torah says. One of them goes and marries her. Right? He marries one of the sisters. Now the other sister needs something. Needs a release or yibum. So who's going to do that? He said, well, my brother will do it. What happens if the brother doesn't have a chance to do it because he dies? So you have an obligation that was in effect, which will not be addressed. So you know what the Chacham say? Since that scenario may present itself, we want to guarantee that the mitzvah will be addressed. How do we guarantee it? We say, no brother is permitted to marry either of the sisters. Do yibum. So therefore, if Levi gives chalitza to one of the sisters, and subsequently Shimon doesn't have a chance to do yibum, you know what's going to happen? So Levi will give chalitza to the second sister. He's doing a mitzvah because chalitza is a mitzvah. It's addressing the mitzvah. To both. So what? They're coming from different brothers anyway. But if one of the brothers does yibum and the some other brother dies, so the mitzvah that was supposed to be done to the second woman, what happens to that mitzvah? It's gone. Right? It's called you mevatel the mitzvah. You negated the mitzvah. Because that's his sister-in-law now. He has no connection to her any longer. So what's the question? I don't want to confuse it. The question is, so let one brother give chalitza, and the other brother let him do yibum. Right? So if the first one does chalitza, right? So then afterwards she's free. So now what's going to be? If the third brother does yibum, fine. What if he doesn't do yibum? Let him do yibum. He doesn't do yibum, so the other brother will do chalitza. But it says no. Both brothers are not permitted to do more than yichalitza. If the first one does yibum, I understand it's a problem. Because what happens if the other brother should die? He's not going to be able to do chalitza. The chalitza is not relevant any longer. So let the third brother do chalitza, and the fourth brother should do yibum. And if he does do yibum, he'll do yibum. The third brother will do yibum. Right? That's going to be difficult. No, once they do chalitza, the surviving brother cannot marry him anymore. They can marry to another party. Right? But once they sever a relationship, they can never marry them again. Okay? Let's see. Rega. So why are we speaking about the four brothers? What do we have to speak of the four brothers? The four brothers married to two sisters, and then they both fall. Let's talk about the three brothers. Two brothers married to two sisters, and they both die, and they fall to a third brother. Say the same thing. We don't allow either brother. We don't allow the surviving brother to do even one, because you know why? Because Yimvat Mitzvah's Chalitza. Right? Because now, the original obligation, which was to him, he's not able to address it. So what do we have to speak about? Four brothers. Speak about three brothers. Hear the Gemara's question. The sisters. Okay? So the Gemara says, if that's the case, Ihochi tlosanami. So Gemara says, lo mi boy kami. Lo mi boy tlos. One brother for sure. It's understood why we don't allow him to do yibum. Two brothers married to sisters, only a third brother. So when they both die, both brothers die. So if he does yibum one, he's being mevatel the mitzvah of what? Of yibum to the other. Maybe you say if the four brothers, what I should worry that maybe the fourth brother will die before anything's done to the other wife, to the other sister. Kamash Malan, we are worried. We're worried. You have the case. This is so far-fetched. It's a worry which is a far-fetched worry. If you have four brothers, the two sisters fall. Why don't we allow Levi to do Yibum? Why? Because if he does Yibum, and then Yehuda, there's some other brother who survived, dies before he does Chalitza Yibum, the mitzvah that was in effect is gone. So therefore, we're concerned he may die. The man's healthy. Oh, we're worried he's going to. The answer is we're worried. When it comes to doing mitzvah, we worry. So therefore, we say, that's a chiddush. It's a chiddush. Let's say we're speaking about three brothers. Three brothers, the Mishnah doesn't have to discuss. that the third brother cannot do Yibum on one. Because he does Yibum on one, the other wife is gone. Then for sure he's Mevatel the mitzvah. There he's definitely Mevatel the mitzvah. The mitzvah is upon him to do Chalitza to both of them. By marrying one, he's actually negating the other one. But with two surviving brothers, we can work it out. Levi will marry one, Shimon and Yehuda will marry the other. The answer is, something, but word he may die. So that's what the Mishnah says is a chidush. So that's the reason why it has to say the case of 4 brothers, and it's not necessary to discuss the case of 3 brothers.
Maybe your point, did we have something with the Kohen Gadol when they offered a second wife for Yom Kippur? Was it Tosfos who said that it's just with that type of thing, they die, she may die, he may die, there's no end to it.
No, but over there it's different. It's different.
Is that correct?
Yeah, the Mishnah says, the Chacham say we don't have to designate another wife.
Yeah.
Because once you worry about dying, there's no end to it.
Yeah.
There's no end to it. There's nothing wrong. Here, there's the mitzvah that's incumbent upon you.
Right.
It's not getting complicated. If you do give both chalitza, you did the mitzvah. So why take a chance? There, everything's okay. So I have to be concerned. Maybe he'll die and he'll be disqualified. You know something? Right now he's qualified. We don't worry about disqualified. Right now the obligation exists. So the obligation is incumbent upon you. So if you could address it with chalitza, we don't let you do with jibum. Okay?
Remember the simplest case. There were 2 brothers, 3 brothers. 2 of them died. The one brother remains.
So both.
He's connected to both sisters. Completely forbidden.
But he gives chalitza to both. So the halach is gives chalitza. We're going according to the opinion ein zika, that the connection is not strong enough, like being married to 2 sisters.
Oh, I see. Because if the connection was strong.
No, that's understood. He has to give chalitza. We're going now according to the opinion that the connection is not strong enough. So why don't we? So now we have a good question.
Which way do we follow?
No, it's an argument. We want to say the Mishnah could even be going even if the connection is not strong enough. That's what the Gemara says. We want to originally prove the reason why they both have to give chalitza is because it's like being married to 2 sisters. We say, no, that's not the understanding of the Mishnah. You don't have to say that. The reason the connection is not strong enough, because there's a concern that if one does yibum and the other brother dies, he's not with the first brother, so that mitzvah is going to be unattended. It's going to be left.
So it's better to relate to the both.
Exactly. So now we ask if that's the case, why do we have to talk about 4 brothers? Let's talk about 3 brothers. If you have 3 brothers and 2 die, 1 falls, son, the third brother gives chalitza to both. What does it say that? So that's understood. Because if he does yibum to one, of course he can't marry the other. But here there is a 4th brother here. So you say, let one do yibum on one, and let the other one do yibum on the other. The answer is because we're worried. Because what happens before he has a chance to do yibum, he should die. Howard needs a coffee. No, maybe you need some scotch. No. Thank you. Okay. Smart says, Ihochi. So what are we speaking about 4? Say 5 brothers. You got it? Why are we speaking about the 4 brothers? What happens if, let's say there are 3 surviving brothers. In that case, would we allow one of them to do yibum? Because you got 2 brothers left. Even if one should die, the other one will cover. Ihochi chamisha nami. Yeah, this. If the 5 brothers, then we will allow Levi to do yibum. She said, but maybe the other 2 may die. 1 brother dying is a chance. 2 brothers dying, it's so remote, we don't even consider it. So it comes out an interesting case. 2 brothers married to 2 sisters, 3 surviving brothers. One of the surviving brothers could do yibum, and the other brother could do yibum. They both could do yibum. This is if you hold ein zika. Only if you hold ein zika. Terrific. So Tosfos asks something similar to Howard's question. According to Rabbi Yehuda, that you designate a wife for the Kohen Gadol. So over there it says, Af isha acheres maskina lo shemet tomus ishto. More asks a question. According to the Chachomim, uparchina lo Rabbon. So Rabbon said, ein lo davasof. There's no end to it. Right? Right. The Chachomim say, no. If you're worried about 1 dying, worried about 20 dying. He says, what are you talking about? Over here we just made a differentiation. 1 we're worried about, more than 1 we're not worried about. What the Chacham say to Rabbi Yehuda, reason why you are concerned is not a concern, because if you're going to worry, there's no end to the worry. What do you mean? The Gemara right here says, according to the Chachamim, how many brothers would worry about dying? One brother. More than one brother, we're not worried the person may die. So what are you worried about? That's Tosa's question. So he says something interesting over there. Over there, we're talking about, it's right, it's Erev Yom Kippur. We're afraid within the next 24-hour period, his wife may die. What is the likelihood? It's so remote. So if you're worried about that, something may happen, so if that, you have to worry about multiple wives will die. If I'm concerned until the mitzvah will be addressed, which is an extended period of time, okay, it's possible. A person may die. That's what I'm concerned about. So now the Gemara says, one yes, but not. Once you say something is totally, almost like an irrational worry, so if you're worried about one, you have to worry about six. So as many as you put there, I got to worry they're all going to die. Okay? Okay, it's clear. No? Ephraim, you have it? You're getting there, okay. You know, it's like you go on the train, they punch your ticket to it at every stop. Okay, got to punch the ticket. Okay. Omar Rava Barafuna, or Omar Rabba Barafuna. Omar Rav, Sholosh Achios Yevamos. New case. 3 brothers married to 3 sisters. You hear the story? 3 brothers married to 3 sisters. Shenoflu Lifnei Shnei Achim. So now you have 3 sisters. Shnei Achim Yevomin. Right? 3 sisters fall before 2 brothers. Zecholitz Lachas. Zecholitz Lachas. Each one gets chalitza to one of the sisters. Now you got a 3rd one left. Vemtso is shricha chalitza b'shneim. This you got to understand. Each sister gets chalitza from one of them, and the last one gets chalitza from both. You have to understand what? No. Why should what chalitza? As for each of the surviving widows, chalitza from each one was enough. Why is the last one that's left? Why is chalitza enough? Right? Same idea. Reuven, Shimon, Levi are married to 3 sisters. Rega. Now they all die. The 2 surviving brothers. All 3 of them fall to every one of them. Okay? Yibum cannot be done. Okay, so good. So it says, Levi gives, Yehuda gives chalitza to one. Yisachar gives chalitza to the other. The one that's left, they both have to give chalitza. What do they both have to give chalitza? Just as the first 2 were released with chalitza from one of them, the 3rd one should also be, chalitza should be sufficient to release her.
You can't give to two.
No, I'm not talking about chalitza. No, give them something else. Because
Here we're going the other way. We're saying that a man can do chalitza to 2 women.
So he's asking you a question. He says, if you say that the last one needs chalitza from both, he says, that's the most question. He says, where is it? Omar Rabbo, with the kamrid, if you say the middle one, the last one needs chalitza from both, kasabrit, evidently, what do you hold? Yesh ziko, v'avi chalitza psula. V'chalitza psula tzorch lasal kol ha'achim. We will continue this tomorrow. Okay, it's not difficult.